police and fire, and let's say over 100, 150 have been making over 100 grand or better. You know, so we'll be offsetting, just keeping it stabilized as far as that.
But that was the,
that-
as
yeah.
long as we're keeping it stable.
Yeah, and so that should be, you know, a big plus going forward. We're in the midst of salary negotiations with the police and fire, so hopefully we'll come up with a fair settlement with that in negotiations.
What does that do to him?
Hmm?
What does that do when?
This past July 1st.
Oh, just-
The contract was over
So it's over.
June 30th.
Okay.
So during the first year of the contract, nothing's been settled between police and fire. You know, there's 4 unions, one's always waiting for the other one to make a move.
Right.
And they always have a lot of issues, not only salary, but also operational type of issues. And so Bridget's heavily involved in that negotiation.
I mean, can I just ask a question?
Sure.
I know, what is the starting salary for patrolman?
George, it's around, I think, 40, but it jumps up within 6 or 7 years to like 80 or 90,000.
Right, but the initial salary is
Yes,
low.
somewhere around 40, but I think, well, I won't go into the negotiations.
No, I'm just asking.
But we're
general
trying to.
question.
you know,
General
we're trying
question
to-
is it starts.
Yeah, so somewhere in that neighborhood, but it jumps up, you know, pretty quick.
And until the 2%, that still applies to the cap.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna get to now, the future challenges that we have, and it's still gonna be a 2% cap
Yeah.
on raising the tax levy each year. And there's also a 2% cap on salary negotiations, you can't go over that.
Right.
So, but in conjunction with that, you know, we're gonna have a lot of retirements. So we had, like, I think the last count, maybe over 130 police and fire with 25 to 30 years of service.
Hire cops, a lot.
And that's gonna be, I think, over the next 2 or 3 years, as I mentioned, it just won't pay for them to work. Anybody with 30 years of service, they get the 70% pension, plus they won't have to pay $10,000 for health benefits, and they won't have to pay any money for going into the pension, so they're working for nothing. Anybody with 30 years of service, so I expect, you know, quite a few retirements.
That's why I asked you the question about the starting salary, because
Yeah.
if these 30-year plus service guys leave, then we're gonna replace them with salaries that are gonna be at least half, maybe even a third, depending on so we can hire basically 2 cops for 1, so to speak.
Yeah, well, again, you have to recognize that we still have to pay their medical costs.
Oh, I
So that's gonna be
understand.
30 grand a year too, and you're adding somebody else on
I
it. So,
understand.
you know, it's a difficult situation, you gotta keep within a 2% cap, so.
But in terms of straight salary,
Yeah.
there
Oh,
is
yeah.
a savings.
Yeah, there's I'm sure, movement underway and negotiations to adjust salaries, you know, to a more amenable.
And Mr. President,
amount.
on that note, are we going to, we're going to try and hire police officers? Yeah,
In February, January 1st, I think we're putting on at least 10.
at least 10?
At least 10,
Okay.
in anticipation of some retirements. And then as we go forward, I'll be sending out another survey around January, February, to see who's going to be retiring by June. I have to go out and borrow some more money, as we did the last couple of years, to pay off any
Sick time.
sick time compensated, accumulated compensated balances, that type of thing. So we'll have a better idea, but this will be, they'll be going into their second year. And that's like about, I think it goes up to 8 to 15%, but in the third and fourth year, it's like 30% that they have to pay towards their family plan. And family plan, again, is gonna be over 30 grand in the next 3 or 4 years. It's 25 plus now.
So we're gonna be paying about almost $1,000 a month towards
Yeah,
health benefits.
yeah.
Mr. President, I'll just one last note on that. I can't emphasize enough that how important that we kind of keep hiring police officers, replace them. It's very important for us, for the city, because you can't have a needle and thread trying to run.
I had
Right.
this conversation with the mayor, and he did assure me that at the beginning of next year, we are gonna hire a police
Yeah,
officer.
I kind of had one also, but I just want to reassure it, put it on record that we,
Yeah, but again, we have to time it so that we don't, go over the 2% cap. If you go over the 2% cap and you have too many officers, you're gonna have to lay somebody off somewhere
Yeah.
along the line.
Okay.
So it's a balancing act, if you will, going forward, and, we have our hands on it, and, we'll be looking at it closely. One of the other things we'll be talking about later tonight, future challenge, is the infrastructure of the city. And that goes to the sewer repairs and sewer collapses, et cetera. And we'll be discussing that later in the closed session. Okay, that's my summary wrap
So
up.
bottom line is,
Here.
we don't project any tax increase
There
in
won't
this
be
year's
any
budget.
tax increase.
Well,
There won't be any tax increase over the first half of the year. Councilman Frank Mazzi asked that question. So the quarterly rates for this past August and November, they're the same as the last quarter. I think there might be a couple of bucks difference, plus or minus. And also going forward for February and May, that's going to be the same as this year, so.
two things I wanted to discuss at this meeting. Number one, I think that the traffic enforcement that we have, the street cleaning enforcement officers are doing a great job, because I know down by me, they're out there, they're giving out tickets, and that new system, the e-tickets that print out, are really speeding up the process. They're able to work faster throughout the streets of those that are leaving the streets, their cars parked on street cleaning day, and as a result, because people are getting tickets, I see that there's a lot less cars being parked on the street on street cleaning day, so we're getting our streets cleaner every week. But I think one thing that has to be addressed, Tony, is the fact that we lost Aldo Parati in the recycling enforcement, okay, and garbage enforcement on the wrong days. And our inspector, Fibo Torres, is running around like a chicken without a head, trying to do it all. And I think that, based on our conversation years ago, that person was actually bringing in double of what their salary was. Because of the fact that they were doing a nice job enforcing our recycling, enforcing our garbage being moved out on the wrong day, and that type of stuff. And I think it's those type of employees that, in this financial situation that we're going through in this city, is the kind of employees we need to get, guys that are going to be hired to generate money for the city.
Yeah.
So if we can bring that back to the administration,
Yeah, so,
and look to maybe hire some more traffic enforcement people, hire some more recycling. Have we really been doing anything with recycling with the big buildings? I know we had Mr. Bella here about 6 months ago, 8 months ago. I know he was targeting some of the big buildings first.
Mr. Who?
Pat Bella.
Oh, Pat Bella, yeah, sure.
Recycling.
Yeah.
He was going to target the big buildings. Has there been any inroads in that? I don't know if summonses have been issued for big landlords that are not recycling. These are all things that can continue to generate revenue and reduce our costs with garbage. Less garbage going to the incinerators at the end of the month.
Yeah, I'll review that with him again, and also, he was, I guess, active with the Board of Education also, trying to get some recycling.
Yeah, because the Board of Ed doesn't recycle.
No, I mean, I was at one of the polls, a couple of the polls, and they don't have any garbage, but they don't have any recycling bins or anything like
No.
that,
So,
so.
I mean, these are the type of things that we really have to hire. If we have to hire some more guys to enforce it, then we do. But I think all of this will generate revenue to the city, because the more garbage gets recycled, that's less of an expense that we have to pay.
Yeah, the thing we have to be careful of, when we hire people, whether it's gonna be hourly people or a permanent full-timer, without the health benefits and that type of thing, could be. So we'll look at it.
I'll let the
I'll add it.
administration make that decision, but I think if you hire employees that are gonna generate revenue,
Sure.
then hopefully it'll offset all of the expense. And it'll make the city cleaner, and we'll save.
Oh, sure.
Does any other member of council have any questions of Tony?
Just, do we anticipate any other further state aid cuts?
No, No, the last conference I was to, a couple of weeks ago, Tom Neff indicated there shouldn't be any cuts this year. So
Where are we at now with state aid?
Well, we get about 30 million. We used to get 35. They cut us 5 million a couple of years ago, if you recall, and that's,
What about CDBG money? Has that been cut?
yeah, it keeps going down annually, so, yeah,
I know it's federal money,
yeah.
but that's also keeps going down?
Yeah, that keeps going, that's been going down. I don't know if we get half of what we used to get. And also grants, we got the UEZ funds that have been dried up, so hopefully with change in administration, next couple of years, somebody will reinstitute UEZ
Right, our
program
government told us
again.
with that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a drastic cut, so.
Councilwoman.
How much do we have left in the UEZ fund? Do you know?
I'd say about maybe $5 or $6 million in UEZ funds. But a lot of that is second generation funds, and I think the EDC has recommendations to make most of that out to loans to spur business in the city. So, but that, as it comes up, it gets introduced to city council for their approval, so,
So we have about 5 million left?
yeah, I think there's at least that.
The money is that the UEZ money's from the mall, that doesn't go back to us anymore? It goes down to Trent?
Yeah.
So-
Well, the franchise assessment stuff.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm
City.
talking about the UEZ.
But the sales, no, it's all part of the, that's why hopefully in 2 years we'll
Change the
change
administration.
administration. I mean, that's one of the most successful programs going for urban towns and for us especially.
It's been great for us, and
Yeah, sure.
and the governor's basically cut our feet
Yeah,
off
yeah.
of us. Any other questions? All right, seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Moved by Councilman Questa, second by Councilman Gonzalez. Motion is carried. We'll recess for 5 minutes. Meeting will come to order. This is a regular conference of the City Council as incorporating the annual meetings notice of 2014, which was filed at the City Clerk's office and posted on the bulletin board on December 27, 2013, and sent to the Star Ledger and Home News Tribune, all in compliance with provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law of New Jersey. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Perkins Auguste. Councilman Questa.
Here.
Councilman Torres.
Here.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Councilman Keenan.
Here.
Councilman Sedan.
Here.
Councilman Gollman.
Here.
Councilman Mazza. President Grover.
Here.
Call his name, that's all.
We have 7 members present. Open it up to public session. Any member of the audience wish to address City Council. Sir, state your name and address for the record.
Robert Trent from the city. I'm a tenant. I don't know what happened to rent control. This is election year.
Yeah, it was renewed at the same law change, didn't change.
Same wording?
Yes,
No change.
no changes.
I'm not a landlord.
I know. Did you ask me a question? I'm telling you what happened.
Well, I am stating publicly that I am a tenant.
Okay. Gotcha. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, I'll close that portion of the meeting. I know that we have council, we have some items that we need to go into closed session on,
Yes.
and I think we want to do that now so we can get this gentleman on his way. Is that all right with everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
I have a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Okay, I gotta read my thing.
Moved by Councilman Questa, seconded by Councilman Torres. Roll call on going into closed session.
Okay. Whereas the Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the governing body wishes to discuss the matter falling within the attorney-client privilege, minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires that confidentiality, then the minutes can be made public. Now therefore be it resolved that the public be excluded from this meeting. Councilman Questa?
Aye.
Councilman Torres?
Aye.
Councilman Gonzalez?
Aye.
Councilman Keenan?
Aye.
Councilman Sedan?
Aye.
Councilman Gollman?
Aye.
President Grover. Russell is temporary judge of the municipal court in the city of Elizabeth for a term of 1 year from November 1, 2014 through October 31st, 2015 at the rate of $300 per session in an amount not to exceed $60,000. Letter dated September 22nd from His Honor the Mayor. Subject to the confirmation of your honorable body, I herewith reappoint Mr. George Elias, 418 Rose Hill Lanes, Elizabeth, to serve as a member of the Elizabeth Parking Authority for a 5-year term effective October 17, 2014.
Anybody have a problem? Put it on.
Put it on.
Letter dated September 23, 2014, from the Business Administrator requesting permission for the purchasing agent to make the necessary arrangements to auction impounded property in possession of the Elizabeth Police Department to be held by PropertyRoom.com, state pre-approved online auction site. Date of the sale will be set by the auction company and will be published in the New York Star Ledger, contingent upon City Council's approval of the use of PropertyRoom.com. Resolution to include the statements and provisions.
Any questions? Put it on.
Letter dated October 3rd, 2014, from the Business Administrator, requesting authorization for the proper city officials to execute a contract for insurance covering city's foreclosed properties with Lloyd's of London, London, England, through agent of record, Otterstedt Agency, Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey, for the period October 1, 2014 to October 1, 2015, at an annual premium of $4,508.10.
Put it on.
Letter dated October 3rd, 2014, from the Business Administrator, requesting authorization for the issuance of insurance covering city-owned properties with the Chubb Group of Insurance Companies, Florham Park, New Jersey, through their agent of record, Otterstedt Agency, Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey, for the period of October 1, 2014 to October 1, 2015, at an annual premium of $135,918.
Question for you, Tom. We're gonna be looking to auction off some city-owned, some foreclosed properties.
Yes.
Well, then, we can make a claim to reduce our premium for the rest of the year?
I'll make a note.
Right, because
As soon as it's gone, yeah, as soon
I'm
as it's
assuming
over,
this
yeah.
premium is based on what we currently are ownership of.
All right.
Letter dated October 3rd, 2014, from the Business Administrator, recommending awarding a contract to Highway Service Corp. Elizabeth for towing and road service for municipal vehicles for the period of 1 year with an option to renew for 2 or 3 years at a cost not to exceed $30,000 per year.
Questions?
Yeah, Mr. President,
Okay, Council.
I don't know if it's present in the contract now. If it is not, I certainly like to add it, amend it to it. During the time for repaving, resurfacing our roads, our streets, naturally, the police officer, whomever, they come out, they post these signs, says no parking from the 7 to 5, or whatever the case may be. And naturally, they come through the street the next day with siren and whatever, to get them out, move the cars. I have somewhat of a problem when people, particularly senior citizens, maybe perhaps might not have a place to move their car, and they might forget. And the bottom line is, I want to see that, have it put in the contract, that they do not, if they tow the cars, not tow it, just relocate it. Or when you pick it up, and somebody had to pay, a couple people had to pay $108 for a towing job. That's pretty steep for citizens that really don't have a off-street parking for garages, et cetera, et cetera. And I feel sorry for them. They're charged $108 for picking up, towing their cars.
Because they didn't comply with the police order.
Correct. Unfortunately, they might have got, you know, like, well, I
So
don't,
where do you distinguish?
I don't believe, wait, hang on. I don't believe, I think that we do it sometimes when we when we remove the snow.
Yes, we do.
Okay, so I want the same type of fairness for this particular event as we do with snow. We can pick up the cars, relocate it, not tow it, relocate it to another location, someplace around the corner, around another street location for them. And we paid that $25 cost to the towing company.
Tony, can you see if that's something we can do?
Yeah, because I think it's just so unfair that these poor people gotta pay $108 for towing. I mean, they made it,
See, the difference between the snow and this is because snow, nobody can predict.
well, unfortunately.
These other things, they post signs usually
I-
24 hours before. I mean,
I understand,
there's
But
a
I-
fine line. I don't know if it's something we can do, but let Tony look into it.
I think it's something we need to look into it. I certainly like to see if we can add it to that because I feel sorry for these people paying $108. One lady, just luckily, she grabbed me and she said, I said, where'd you park your car? She said, Councilman, I parked around the corner. I said, where? I said, well, they're working on that street today. So I put it in my truck, raced around it, and just look, I got there just in time. And she was able to pick her car up. But other people, they weren't so fortunate and they got covered. So anyway, I'd like to see if we can.
Let's see if we can look into it.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. President.
You got it.
Letter dated October 3rd, 2014, from the business administrator requesting to amend the emergency generation repair with Cummins Metro Power, Inc., Newark, New Jersey, at a cost of $26,048.62, specifically to change the name, address, and amount to Cummins Power Systems, LLC, Bronx, New York, at a cost of $18,093.92.
Is this that expensive switch that we talking about?
No.
No, this ain't it?
This is the company that actually installs the expensive switch. My only hesitation with this is that I think the last time we had a problem with the storm, it took these guys a little long to come out and address the issue. I just want to make sure that they have enough manpower to be able to respond in an emergency to the city. If that's, we could just get a letter out to them, Tony. If we're going to hire them to be our emergency contact, they got to be ready when we need them in an emergency.
Yeah, I'll talk to John.
I don't know if it was the same company. I don't remember the name of the other company. But I know that we did have an emergency situation, and it took a couple of days because they were too busy. And then we came to find out the switch was needed, and it took another couple of days. It became a four-day delay.
Letter dated October 3rd, 2014, from the Business Administrator, recommending awarding a contract to Absolute Protective Systems, Inc., Edison, New Jersey, for the purchase of maintenance to fire sprinklers, standpipes, and fire pump systems in various public buildings owned by the city for the period September 25th, 2014 through December 31st, 2015, at a cost not to exceed $150,000 under the Morris County Cooperative Pricing Council. Letter dated October 3rd, 2014, from the Business Administrator, recommending awarding a contract to Magic Touch Construction Company, Keyport, New Jersey, for repairs and maintenance of plumbing systems at various public buildings for the period November 27, 2014 through June 4, 2015, at a cost not to exceed $175,000 under the Middlesex Regional Education Service Commission Code. Letter dated October 3rd, 2014, from the Business Administrator advising that being satisfied that an emergency did exist, recommends the award of a contract to Big Top Contractors, Inc., Avenel, New Jersey, for the immediate demolition of 444 Marshall Street in the amount of $13,700.
That's good. This is the one that just caught fire a couple months ago.
Can I ask, Tony, if you can look into this? I had Yolanda send a letter to I guess, the Director Rodriguez regarding 428, 440, it was since you're here. 428, 444, was it?
Can't remember.
It's a burnt-out building on East Jersey Street, a multifamily.
Oh, that was Mary. Mary.
You should have gotten a letter from Mary. It's been sitting vacant for about 5 years now. So
Has I come across like that? Oh,
it's coming.
With the
gotcha. All right,
If you could take a look at that, because maybe we need to demolish it too, because there's no roof.
Oh, there's no
I
room
made
for
that
it.
complaint to Ray, see if it was on the site.
That's pretty cool.
What was the address on it?
428,
428.
428-442, I think. It's like 3 or 4. Mary in City Clerk's office has it.
And that's on Marshall.
No, it's on East Jersey.
East Jersey.
East Jersey Street,
We have a photo.
next to the dollar store. Okay.
Letter dated October 3rd, 2014, from the business administrator advising that being satisfied that an emergency did exist, recommends the award of a contract to Big Top Contractors, Avenel, New Jersey, for the immediate demolition of 1028 Bond Street in the amount of $14,650.
Councilman?
Yeah, Mr. President, I'm just happy to see this taken care of. I've been after this for the last few years. There's another eyesore that was in the neighborhood. Matter of fact, there's two, matter of fact, side by side. Had been there for about 4 or 5 years, and finally, I was able to get both down. So, thank the administration for this cooperation.
Letter dated October 6, 2014, from the business administrator recommending awarding a contract to Pitney Bowes, Inc., Shelton, Connecticut, for the furnishing of postage equipment maintenance and postage supplies for the period October 1, 2014 through September 30, 2015, at a cost not to exceed $225,000.
This includes the postage. Okay.
Letter dated October 6, 2014, from the business administrator recommending awarding a contract to Jesco Inc., South Plainfield, New Jersey, for the purchase of 2 John Deere 624K loaders at the total cost of $360,819.99 under the Middlesex Regional Educational Services Commission. Loaders will be replacements for the Department of Public Works. Loaders number 126 and number 107.
Hey, boy, you got to get it right.
Letter dated October 7, 2014, from the business administrator requesting to rescind the resolution dated July 22, 2014, between the City of Elizabeth and the Elizabeth Parking Authority at a total cost of $97,500, and recommends authorizing the proper city officials to execute an agreement with the Elizabeth Parking Authority for the rental of 25 parking spaces in lot number 6 and 300 parking spaces in lot number 2 at a rate of $50 per parking space per month for a period of 3 years effective July 1, 2014 through June 30, 2017 at a total monthly cost of $16,250 or $585,000 for 3 years.
Is that what we paid the last term?
No, it was a 1-year contract at half that cost. So we haven't had any increase, at least for 15 or 20 years. And it's still substantially under what they normal.
Letter dated September 24, 2014, from the Second Assistant City Attorney requesting to rescind the resolution adopted September 9, 2014, appointing John C. Riley Esquire, Iselin, New Jersey, to serve as condemnation counsel for the acquisition of 75-77 West Jersey Street, Elizabeth, due to a conflict with this firm, and is requesting that John C. Riley Esquire be appointed to serve as condemnation counsel for the acquisition of the property at 300-328 Atlantic Street, Elizabeth, along with the previously approved 601 Bond Street. All other terms and conditions remain the same.
All right, so he was hired already to do these, we just have to remove him from that one property, is that it, Frank?
That's correct.
What's going on with 300 Atlantic Street? Why is it taking so long for us to condemn it?
Well, it's just you have to get an appraisal and you have to get
I thought we did all that though.
We do have an appraisal. I think we're about to probably start to negotiate with the owner.
There was a lot of contamination.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I just got a letter today from, which was forwarded to me by one of the attorneys on the other side, saying that it had been cleaned up according to whatever standards, and I don't know whether it's residential or commercial, but, and that they could now remove the monitoring wells that were put there. So I think we're moving forward.
All right.
Okay?
Yes.
Letter dated September 17, 2014, from Chief Financial Officer requesting authorization for the tax collector to cancel refund credit and overbilling of taxes for 2014 tax year on the property located at 1023 East Grand Street in the amount of $3,898.66. Letter dated October 7, 2014, from Chief Financial Officer notifying your honorable body that the original irrevocable standby letter of credit scheduled to expire on October 25th, 2014, was found on October 1st, 2014, and returned to the Elberon Elizabeth Urban Renewal LLC.
They found the letter.
Yes, it was hidden so well.
So we didn't have to do the suspense.
If I can ask, is it, was it up here like legal?
No, no,
Oh,
no.
Tony.
No, our city attorney asked me a year ago to make sure it was well secured, and I did just that.
So much so that nobody else knew it.
Yes, right, including myself.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Letter dated October 7, 2014, from Chief Financial Officer requesting that your honorable body consider the approval of a capital ordinance that would authorize the demolition of the Polish home located at 607, 627 Pulaski Street in the total amount of $450,000.
Why are we paving this?
Because there's gonna be some parking for the field, from what I understand, correct?
So this money is,
To demolish
it says and pavement.
both.
We're not paving the whole thing though.
No, no, because it's gonna be a field.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Okay, all right.
They're gonna pave, from what I understand, where they're gonna demolish the building. The building's being demolished.
Yeah.
Thank you, President.
Good job.
Letter dated October 7, 2014, from Chief Financial Officer requesting that your honorable body consider the approval of a capital ordinance authorizing the purchase of emergency generators for the Peterstown Community Center and Stephen Sampson Senior Center in the total amount of $750,000.
We're missing one, but go ahead.
Letter
You missed-
dated
what do you-
October
what do you-
7th.
What do you mean you missed one? I mean,
Continue.
it's bad enough that I gotta carry the rest.
Continue.
Letter dated October 7, 2014, from Chief Financial Officer requesting that your honorable body consider the approval of a bond ordinance authorizing the renovation of the Mickey Walker Recreation Center and the purchase of a natural gas emergency generator to power the entire building in the amount of $2,500,000 with a down payment of $125,000.
Now we can say we're missing one.
No, it's just like.
We're actually missing two. We're missing Dirk Slavin and we're missing,
Wait.
Tony, can you look into that, please?
Yeah.
Earth Labor and
No, no.
You
Emergency
want
generator.
me to add them?
Letter dated October 7, 2014, from Chief Financial Officer requesting that your honorable body consider the approval of a bond ordinance authorizing the cost of engineering and construction of the Trumbull Street Flood Control Project in the amount of $5,500,000.
Mr. President, I can't emphasize, thank you, Mr. President. I can't emphasize enough.
Good job, Councilman.
This project's moving through,
I know.
moving forward.
Hopefully the firehouse can now get through to the other areas.
Absolutely. You know the reason, sir.
Letter dated October 7, 2014, from Chief Financial Officer requesting that your honorable body consider the introduction and approval of the Midtown Elizabeth Special Improvement District 2014 budget. Letter dated October 7, 2014, from Chief Financial Officer advising that temporary emergency appropriations for the 2015 state fiscal year municipal and sewer utility budgets may be necessary. Letter dated October 7, 2014, from the Chief Financial Officer advising in compliance with the State Fiscal Year 2015 Appropriations Act requires that your honorable body approve all payments related to accumulated uncompensated absence benefits. Letter dated October 3, 2014, from Chief Financial Officer requesting that your honorable body determine that the City of Elizabeth foreclose by summary proceedings in rem as provided in the in rem Foreclosure Act, the tax sale certificates held by it as listed on the attached tax foreclosure lists.
So we're gonna take over this Turn property?
while it's only 4 or 5 properties involved there, there's still many more held by outside lien holders. So this is just a start to foreclose on the properties that we do own. And the rest is being analyzed by our Director Rodriguez and.
These guys disappeared, huh? They came in with that beautiful project?
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was that glass city that we were gonna build.
Yeah, we're gonna, yeah, that was.
All the plans, it's very nice.
Okay.
Letter dated October 6, 2014, from Chief Financial Officer requesting that your honorable body determine that the City of Elizabeth foreclosed by summary proceedings in rem as provided in the in rem Foreclosure Act for tax sales certificates held by it as listed on the tax foreclosure list.
So these we held on to the tax
Yeah,
certificate.
yeah, we own these and we're asking council to approve the foreclosure process.
And that's the same the same attorney,
Keep
we've been
on,
using.
yeah, we usually use those type ones.
Letter dated September 23, 2014, from the Director of Health and Human Services requesting to amend the resolution adopted April 22, 2014, with NJMS Global Tuberculosis Institute at Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey, for the 2014 Elizabeth Tuberculosis Health Services Program, specifically to change the name to New Jersey Medical School Global Tuberculosis Institute at Rutgers Biomedical and Health Sciences. Letter dated October 2nd, 2014, from the Director of Health and Human Services requesting permission for the proper city officials to enter into an agreement with Kane University for the purpose of providing work to students eligible for the Federal Work Study Program to perform work-related duties at SOAR free of charge.
Wait, have we done this before?
I think this is
I think this is new. I think this is
Letter dated September 15, 2014, from the Director of Planning and Community Development requesting the commencement of the competitive contracting process for the purposes of selecting a licensed and qualified firm to provide for the administration of records related to foreclosed and vacant properties within the city limits. Yes, but it was placed on hold.
That's why we have.
Yes.
Director Rodriguez is here to explain, and he sent us a letter explaining why it's important or why it would be beneficial to the city to move ahead with this resolution as opposed to using our own staff to do it. Director?
Sure. Currently, right now, I just left the EHIP apartment now. We have 2 people processing checks right now, which is gonna take up some content. But right now, basically, they're processing about 1,500 to 2,000 of these properties. And these are the voluntary banks that basically follow the ordinance, and they're sending in the registration forms, and they're processing all of these actual checks, like downstairs manually. A big issue is that basically, the first thing is we don't know what properties are going through the foreclosure process or actually foreclosed or get off that foreclosure. We'd have to go to the actual county to gather all that information. And I can tell you from first-hand experience from contractors, from the real estate agents, nobody knows. Nobody really captures all that information, so I don't think we're the only ones here. The problem is when we do find out properties are in foreclosure, it's very difficult to get the right information to who to contact to actually demand payment for these ordinances.
When you mean who to contact, you mean the lender or the mortgage company?
The servicer, the lender, exactly. It's a big problem is actually Bank of America. I can tell you we spent over $150 in certified mail. All of them came back. And finally, I had the idea to just send it to General Counsel down in Charlotte, which is our corporate headquarters. They still haven't responded. They still haven't done anything. And they owe about $2 million to us here. So my thing here is I want to hire this outside firm. They have expertise in this. They now do it for about 200 different towns all around the country. In this state, there's only one. It's the city of Englewood. I think they have maybe 5 or 10 actually foreclosures. For here, the benefits here are numerous. First of all, they have all of these contacts already for all the actual banks. They go and basically, if they do get this contract for 2-3 months, they data mine and they gather all the information on every lot in the city. They confirm who the owner is, if it's privately owned, or if not, who the bank is and who the servicer is. Then they do the actual legwork, contact them, demand payment. So what happens, it's twofold basically. We get the pertinent contact information for that property, and second, I can't sit here and tell you we're gonna get 100%, but it increases significantly how much these banks actually pay. Why? Because basically now we have this third party enforcing our rights. Second, from their standpoint also, they pay a lot of property managers a lot of good money to manage these properties. With us being proactive, notifying the banks that they're in poor condition, they're in actually foreclosure, the banks basically can go around and crack the whip at these property management firms. So that's, I think, is the financial benefit. There's another huge benefit here is we're gonna have, basically after 5-6 months of data mining, a live foreclosure database that anyone in the city, private or public, can come to us and be like, give me a list of foreclosure properties in the first ward, the second, the third, council people, the police, the health department. That's a benefit basically that you can't put a price on it. Having that information is gonna help to manage these properties, put them in better condition, and get them off the foreclosure. So that's, and again, this is, it's a no commitment contract, cancel at any time by either party, no upfront costs, and they take $100 per registration.
So per property, it's
They collect.
costing us $100.
Yes, the first year annual fee is $500, so they keep 100. If it's the second year, it's 1,000, they keep 100. If it's 2,500 the third year, they keep $100.
And can we, if we do this, can we maybe see how they do in 6 months? And
You can catch at any time. I know the salesperson would love to come in and actually present it. He's probably much better at it because he's done about 150 to 200 times. It's a wonderful online database that everyone can have access to also and go on there and actually check.
and it's all costing us $100 per property.
Nothing up front. First 3-4 months, they're doing all the data mining. It's costing us absolutely nothing. And we can cancel at any time.
And this is something definitely that they would do that our city employees would not be able to do.
It's extremely difficult. And just in terms of the certified mailings, in terms of the staff and everything like that, it's extremely difficult. And I can even tell you just from the private sector, it's extremely difficult. How many realtors and contractors don't know who to contact? I want to buy this property from the actual bank. They don't know who to contact. And again, I'm not saying it's going to be 100%, but it's going to increase a lot. It's going to increase a lot. And I think just from a standpoint of the private sector, it's going to be very powerful to come in here and ask and, you know, really emailing all these people information. And in my opinion, I think this will be a model. I think once they see the success, I think this will expand to the state. Because again, no upfront costs and a very low per cost.
Yeah, I think the questions that we had is why our employees who are doing this, why they couldn't continue to do it. And that was part of the question, or maybe hire somebody else to help with to do this, hire somebody, you know, from the
Only
city.
spending $100 a property
But-
might be cheaper than a salary.
But given the explanation you've given, I think you've answered the question.
Yeah.
I saw the video last time I go out. I do have to come in and talk to you, so that's why I asked. Hold on.
All right.
Mr. President,
Councilman King.
this fee, if it's not paid, why don't we put a lien against the property?
We don't even know who to contact to tell them that they owe the money.
Yeah, but that doesn't preclude us from putting a lien on the property.
No, we could pass that $100 fee onto the property, yeah.
No, whatever for example, the registration fee.
You have to give notice to sue and put the lien on. It's not something like, I'm assuming, you demolish a building or something like that. Here, you would have to send proper notice to the party, notify them, give them an opportunity to come to court. We don't even know who to serve.
That's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Right, that's what happened with Bank of America, actually, prior to doing this. Like I said, we spent $150 in certified mails, and they all came back.
The other thing is Bank of America is one of our depository banks, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
very easy to
Pressure-
collect them.
Put pressure on them. Say, you know, I don't understand why we don't use the leverage of the depositories, the deposits we have with
Again, we
them.
don't know who to contact. That's the
Well,
number
but
one
I'm
problem.
saying, if we stop depositing money with them, I'm sure they'll find a way to straighten it out.
Very true.
So, that's one thing you may want to pursue. Thank you, Mr. President.
That's very
Just a quick question. Do we have, of course, it's a guesstimate, but like about how many foreclosed properties in the city of Elizabeth?
Could be anywhere from 1,700 to 2,600.
Okay, right.
We actually don't know. Right now, they're having an actual manual bind or something, and it's
Yeah.
just, like I said, it's really very, very difficult to do. They have Excel spreadsheets, which have now become these atrocities, and like I said, they track every single property in the whole city.
And it's like updated,
They
previous
have the economies of scale, so
Yeah.
basically, when they put the 3-4 months of work, they backtrack and put all the information, then it's just maintenance, and they have this down packed, or it's just doing it. So, it's one.
So, is it a consensus we try at least for 6 months?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so we're gonna try for 6 months. And then what I'm gonna ask you to do is if you can, give us a feedback 6 months from now as to how it worked.
But definitely, would you like the person to come in to give you?
I just want you to give us an idea of how it worked after 6 months. If you come back in 6 months, say, look, you know, they sold us a bag of beans, then we get rid of it. All right? Okay.
So thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Director.
Good
night.
Good night.
Good night now. Good job.
So we're gonna have to make some sort of resolution. Now you guys know why he was here. Almost no secret. It's just-
Letter dated September 22nd, 2014, from the Director of Planning and Community Development, requesting to amend the resolution dated November 12, 2013, between City of Elizabeth and the Elizabeth Conservancy for the demolition of a concrete foundation and other structures to construct a city garden, specifically to extend the term of the contract to December 31st, 2014.
Yeah, Mr. President, like that we put this on, this will assist them in being able to get the Kids Trust Fund money that's gonna be awarded next month.
Okay.
Letter dated September 22nd, 2014, from the Director of Planning and Community Development, requesting to amend the resolution dated August 27, 2013, between the City of Elizabeth and the Elizabeth Development Company to construct a handicap walkway at the New Point Road campus of the Trinitas Medical Center, located on the north side of Livingston Street, specifically to extend the contract term to December 31st, 2014.
I understand. What we approved was a mid-block crossing, which is basically just zebra stripes across the street, right? So what is this now? This is on their property?
There's a director.
Could we just
Walk handicap.
maybe have them let us know what this is? We'll put it on, but I just don't understand what
A mid-block handicap, crosswalk.
Well, we already approved that. I mean, are they gonna have to cut the curbs, I guess? Is that what they're looking
Could
at?
be.
What it says right there.
Yeah.
That's what I would think.
But it doesn't, it says at their campus. Doesn't say at the sidewalks. All right, let's, I'll just ask the question. Get us an answer as to exactly what they're doing. Yeah. Deal is just.
Letter dated September 23rd, 2014, from the Director of Planning and Community Development, requesting to amend the resolution dated October 22nd, 2013, between the City of Elizabeth and the Elizabeth Development Company to construct the Shiloh Hope Cares Project as an educational center for African American culture in the Kerry Head section of Elizabeth, specifically to extend the contract term to December 31st, 2014.
Councilman,
Yes,
okay?
yeah, please, thanks.
Letter dated October 6, 2014, from the Director of Planning and Community Development requesting authorization to competitively contract for the demolition of the pre-existing structures on the 200 through 238 South 2nd Street parcels.
This is the old,
Yeah. So they're gonna finally knock those buildings down?
yeah.
Good. They better exterminate before they knock them down.
I believe we're testing to see if there's any pest bites and all.
There's a lot of rodents out of that building. Who, so we haven't hired anybody yet, is that it, Tony? This is
not
just to put it out for bid?
Yeah, it's not listed here.
So we're just putting it
So,
out
yeah,
for bid?
out for bid, yeah.
Okay.
Competitive contract.
Could you make sure in that bid proposal that they do maybe a week or two of extermination before they demolish?
Yes.
It's gotta be part of that contract. I can guarantee, once they start tearing that building down, it's gonna be craziness.
Letter dated October 6, 2014, from the Director of Planning and Community Development requesting permission to place a lien on the property located at 1065 Magnolia Avenue for the demolition of said property in the amount of $40,800.
Glad you're back to it. You're gonna save our clerk from writing the letter. Could you tell us what this handicapped walkway at New Point Road campus at Trinitas, what is this?
It's a project with EDC, I think, that was money they've gotten.
Well, they're gonna do a crosswalk, we approved that, but
Handicap.
it says handicapped walkway. Where exactly is it?
A resolution that says midway.
Mid-block handicap,
Well, there's a mid-block crosswalk,
that's the one, handicap accessible crosswalk.
but in the letter it says, reference the resolution to construct a handicapped walkway at the New Point Road campus. So is it, what do you mean on the campus?
This is the one by election, the one that was formerly Election Brothers.
Yeah.
From there, let me check that.
Right, we're putting it on, but if you can just look into it and let us know, all right?
I will get them from EDC, absolutely.
Thanks. Save us a letter. Here, you can have my copy.
Thank you.
Letter dated October 6, 2014, from the Director of Planning and Community Development requesting that your honorable body consider selling at public auction city-owned properties for which the city has no public use. See attached schedule.
All right, on this list, we've been asking for this list for a year, obviously. Does anybody have any opinions on any of these properties? Councilwoman Patricia Perkins wants us to remove Pennsylvania Avenue for now. She's trying to work on having that property converted into some sort of a special needs program, which I don't have a problem holding it. But is there any other concern on any of the other properties? Councilman?
Mr. President, we have a letter from our attorney pertaining to the, couple of weeks ago, we tabled one of the property to go for sale because of, we actually supposed to prevent the cost of condemnation.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in a second. That's not on here.
That's what I mean, it's not on this list. So whenever you get a chance, we put it back on because the law department advised that would be very wise to
Right.
clean it up.
I think with that one, Councilman, my understanding in speaking with Director Petty in the law department,
Right,
we're mandated to clean it up before we can put it out for
right,
auction.
that's what it says.
So we're not putting it on this list, we'll probably, whatever the next list, because I don't want to hold up the rest of this. That's okay.
Thank you.
Is there any other things? All right, so we're gonna, Tony, if we can remove for now that 601, 607
Yeah,
Pennsylvania Avenue.
Yeah,
Any other ones, when are we gonna put these on, when are we gonna do the auction
We're looking towards December 9th.
of this year? Okay.
How long are we holding the Pennsylvania Avenue?
I'm gonna talk to the councilwoman.
Okay.
All right, at some point, we're either gonna have to do something or not. I think the mayor, the administration is working on it. If we can't move forward with what is being requested, then I guess the next round, we're gonna have to put it on.
Okay,
All right?
thanks.
For now, it's not an eyesore, so it's,
No,
all right.
Mr. President, one more question.
sir.
731, 735 New Point Road, is which property is that one?
It's the old
Firehouse. Can you take that off, please, from the cell? Because I know that the neighbors are very concerned about with that particular location, so.
It says empty, oh,
And
it
it's an
says the
empty
vacant lot. though.
Yeah, I
vacant
know.
lot now.
Maybe we would like to do a special park with, with benches and trees and whatever, so it could be an open space in the area, instead of splitting.
This is the one behind,
No, that's the engine tree.
right, which has been demolished.
Right.
It's walked in from
From Elizabeth Avenue,
Right.
was it Bank Street, I think it is?
Right, Bank Street.
All right.
Can
So
we
those
take that
two,
off?
we'll hold
Right.
off for now.
Until I
And
meet
if
with
we
the
can't,
people.
if we can't come up with a public use of those two properties, then we'll put it on the next time.
Thank you.
Okay. So that's two less than I have to hold an auction.
Letter dated September 22nd, 2014, from the Director of Public Works requesting permission to have liens placed against properties listed on Schedule A attached here to for the removal and disposal of debris from said properties in the amount of $17,871.17. Letter dated October 3rd, 2014, from the Director of Public Works recommending awarding a contract to Pipe and Plant Solutions, Inc., Berkeley, California, for the Western Interceptor Cleaning and CCTV Inspection Project at a cost of $667,092.
Where is this? Clarkson Avenue and Trenton Avenue.
Yeah, and the Trenton Avenue pump station.
What do you want to do, Councilman?
I don't want to hold it up, but I'll like to know more about this. I'll contact the director.
Why don't you do that, and then if there's a problem, we can always table it, okay?
Mhm.
All right. Now we're putting it on.
Letter dated October 3rd, 2014, from the city engineer on behalf of Arcadis US, Newton, Pennsylvania, requesting an encroachment permit to perform environmental work consisting of 3 groundwater monitoring wells within the right-of-way of Elizabeth Avenue and 6th Street in the sidewalk area adjacent to 600 Elizabeth Avenue.
Whose ward is this? Is that you, Councilman? No, that's you.
Elizabeth Avenue.
Well,
600 Elizabeth Avenue.
Yeah, that's not a problem. It's,
You're good?
it's right, yeah, it's okay.
Letter dated September 29, 2014, from the Director of Recreation, requesting authorization to accept a donation up to $20,000 from the J.C. Kellogg Foundation for repairs and improvements at Kellogg Park.
Nice job, Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Excuse me? Look, guys, I
Letter
can't
dated
share
September
everything.
26, 2014, from Lieutenant Marcus, Elizabeth Police Department Traffic Division, on behalf of the State of New Jersey Department of Transportation, requesting that your honorable body consider to support a no passing zone on Route 439 in the city of Elizabeth as recommended by the New Jersey Department of Transportation.
Which one is
Anyway.
Letter dated September 17, 2014, from the Police Director requesting to establish handicap parking spaces. 430 First Ward, 438 Fulton Street, personalized.
Put it on,
First Ward, 206 Clark Place, personalized.
put it on,
First Ward, 319 South Park Street, personalized.
put it on.
Second Ward, 839 Garden Street, personalized.
Okay, wait, Mr. President,
Yes.
I don't necessarily per se have a problem with this application for this handicap. However,
The extra name.
yeah, can this be, is this okay that they put it next door, somebody else's,
They
on
can.
somebody else's
The
property?
city can do whatever we want, it's a public street. It's our street.
Yeah. You know, I don't know how the neighbor's gonna feel about
Why
that.
don't you-
Because there's already one in front of 839, the first floor tenant has one. As a matter of fact, I would like the traffic division to re-examine the other one that's there at 839, because some of the residents are indicating that
Right, so why don't we-
lady really isn't there and that it's somebody else that's holding that space.
Maybe that resolves it.
So,
Why don't we hold, why don't you hold this
yeah.
and have them do their investigation, and then
Yeah.
maybe they'll change from in front of 837 to in front of 109. Save the city from putting up signs and taking down signs.
So if they could look into that, but there's more than that. With this particular block, that means if this one gets put on at 837, there's one at 839, there's one at 841, there's one at 843, there's one at 806, there's one at 820, and one at
So you
830.
gotta be handicapped to live on that block.
Can we limit on a block the number of handicaps? I don't know, I'm asking legally, from a legal
Yes, you can.
standpoint.
Yes, you can.
Is there something that we can do? I mean,
What I did one year on Marshall Street, we did a moratorium where we wouldn't put any more handicaps on that block until some person moved. you can make that decision as a ward councilman based on the other residents on that block. And that you have to put a max. I mean,
Because the other residents are complaining that there's no parking.
so hold this off.
Because there are 6, so I'd like to have 839 looked at and verified that the lady actually is alive. Because residents are saying that the only reason that it's there because there's some police officer that's living there and is using it. So I'd like to have that verified that the lady's actually alive and there. And if we can do that, then have a moratorium. If I can do that, I mean, have a moratorium.
You control your
You
ward.
know, because this is just too much. I think, you know, for the other residents on that block. Like to also see if we can have the total number of handicaps that we have. I know we've done it once before and asked for a number.
Separate,
We have in the city.
personalized and regular?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
I don't know if they could break it down by ward, if the other,
Well, the 6th ward has more than that.
if that's possible.
Read it that way.
We respect our handicapped people.
I do the same thing.
Someday somebody's gonna become handicapped and it needs one, we're gonna say no, right?
The way to handle
I
this,
say no now.
colleagues, the way to handle this is you guys control your ward. If you feel that you're getting concerns from residents on a certain block or a certain street, that maybe there's too many handicaps, you make that decision as the ward councilman that I'm not gonna approve any more on this block until somebody moves.
What would be a number then? I mean,
That's your call.
who's to say?
I did 5. That was mine. On a given block, shouldn't be more than 5.
It depends the size of the block.
But depends on the block, depends on the size of the people. Yes, Kevin.
Mr. President, I don't want to talk too much about this because we have discussed this issue so many times in City Council. But I just want to make the observation that if we do that, we could have problems. People would challenge that. It's a matter of fairness. It's a matter of you can't enforce a rule arbitrarily. You can't say, oh, I'm going to limit it to 5 or I'm limit it to 2, and you know when in other blocks you have 20. Because if people are handicapped in that particular block, you're going to deny some legitimate application.
Frank, this is where I think that there's a misunderstanding. Nobody's stopping anybody from having a handicap sticker on their car. They get that from Trent.
Correct.
Okay. All we're doing on city council is making a decision whether to give them a spot in front of their house.
You mean the personalized?
So, I mean, that's our job.
No, the
on city
personalized,
council.
I see the difference, yes.
We have that right.
Personalized, I see the difference.
You don't automatically,
Right.
you got a handicap stick placard on your car and automatically we have to give you a spot. That's not true.
Right. No, I say that because over the years, I mean, a particular councilman comes to mind that he always raises issue that, you know, he would say things like it's getting out of control, and he was making a good point. There were so many that we were granting. So I'm just saying we have to be careful if we're going to start curtailing that we, you know.
But I think that on a given block, it's a case-by-case basis.
Right.
On a given block, depending on, you know, I mean, see, the thing we had on Marshall Street was there were no driveways for anybody.
Right,
So it was very difficult for anybody to find street parking.
of course.
And so we had to really do something because you drive down the street, it was like
No
every
place to
house.
park. Right, I understand.
So at some point, you gotta do what's best for the general
For
public.
general public.
That's all.
To request a moratorium for that block. And if it turns out that 839, the lady isn't there, we can change it, then we can put this one on. We'll keep it at 6 for that block.
So you're gonna have Yolanda send a letter to Lieutenant Marcus, or you're gonna call him directly? Requesting an investigation.
If you're along with something. And I guess they would give us the total number also.
Oh, they have
They
that.
have
But we want an investigation as to the person who currently has it, if they are still there, and if not, to reconsider the placement of this.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome.
Third Ward, 164 Standish Street,
Put it on.
personalized. Okay, deletions 10 South 5th Street, 223 Mellon Place, and 452 South Broad Street.
Everybody's okay with that?
Okay, letter dated October 1st, 2014, from Lieutenant Marcus, requesting an ordinance be adopted for no turn on red at the corner of Orchard Street and McGee Avenue. Okay. Letter dated October 1st, 2014, from City Treasurer submitting the Treasurer's report of receipts and disbursements for the month of July 2014, the statement of bank balances and investments as of July 31st, 2014. Letter dated September 22nd, 2014, from the Fair Rental Housing Board, submitting the Fair Rental Housing Board minutes of July 16, 2014. In your packages, you have a letter from Mr. Rodney White regarding feeding of stray animals. Did
Mr. President,
Councilman, go ahead.
the letter that we received from Mr. White.
This was not addressed to us, this was addressed to the store itself.
Yeah, no, but I spoke to him while he came before the city clerk's office, and we had a lengthy discussion back and forth. This is going back many years ago. In this particular area, I had John Surmay involved, and I would like the law department to, with the okay of city council, to make sure that, see, we could adopt the same ordinance, make it more strict in Elizabeth, but then for the one from Union, I think when Mr. White came down to the law department, I don't know if he came to see it, but if you don't mind, our ordinance is very, very vague, and it's very hard to enforce. Even John Surmay had many problems through the Board of Health and whatever. They are people that they have not consideration. I love animals, all kinds of animals, but there's a way that we must be able to feed them. And many times people, they just pick up 5, 6 loaves of bread, and it could be right in front of the church. You just keep putting, They don't even do that in Venice, in Italy. There's millions of pigeons. You know what I'm saying? And there is a rule even there. So
Would you like, Councilman, the amendment to the ordinance to prohibit
absolutely.
completely?
Right, and take a look at the one from Union. Whatever thing is the best to do, so we don't getting ourselves into a problem.
I know there's an ordinance in Union. Okay.
I got it. You want me to
I've
give it to you?
I've given the law department my copy.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
President. I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm sure Mr. Rodney White will be very happy.
I'm sure he will.
Thank you.
Okay, and then you got the response from the joint meeting regarding the boarding. In your packages, the response from North regarding speed bumps.
Mr. President.
Hold on, go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, you have in your packages, as the city clerk indicated, a response from Newark. We wrote to them. I asked that we write to them because I had learned that they are putting in speed bumps throughout the city. Wanted to find out what impact, if any, it's having on their equipment, their vehicles. They sent us a copy of their policy on speed humps, speed tables, and rumble strips, and indicated in their response that there is no impact to emergency vehicles, except speed reduction.
I knew that all along.
All right, so, can we have, I hate to give you all this work today, Mr. Hosef, but could you review what's been provided to us? We'd like to set a policy similar to this in the city of Elizabeth going forward.
As a matter of fact, Mr. President, I've learned also that Jersey City as well is now beginning to put speed humps in their city as well. Thank you.
We'd like to have an answer on that probably in the next 30 days.
Okay.
If possible. Because we've been getting a lot of
We are
resistance.
really,
Thank you, Councilman.
Okay, then in your packages, you have responses from Lieutenant Marcus regarding Jackson Avenue and Fanny Street, North Avenue and Waverly Place, Orchard Street and Gateway. Okay. I'm going to remove from Old Brighton Street.
Yes.
Also, 823 East Jersey Street, was removed and it's been requested that we put on?
Yeah, that's what we just talked about.
Okay.
And as Yolanda indicated, the vacation of Brighton Street is being put on the agenda.
That's the one for the school.
Very nice.
Very nice,
We
Councilman.
finally got the information we asked for. I want to make sure that everybody, because the Board of Ed made this whole song and dance on how we were holding up this project and how they were going to lose funding. The reality is, we asked for information, this city council, over a month ago. We didn't get it until recently. And that only came through because Councilman Gonzalez went through our city engineer, who called down to Trenton to determine what kind of additional parking was going to be created for the school. That's the only way we got the answer. And unless we start getting cooperation, what are we supposed to do? So they're making us look like the bad guy, when the reality is, we don't get the information. You know, we have to protect our residents going forward.
In fact, Mr. President, I was contacted directly from the School Development Authority as well.
Great job.
So we will be moving it.
Say it again?
They're cansado.
Who was that? Oh.
Okay.
It was someone else.
You want to go through the whole folder?
Yeah, what else?
It was a mystery.
Okay. From the Department of Health and Human Services, a letter was submitted to council requesting authorization to disperse $35,040 to the Elizabeth Board of Education for custodial security and bus services for the SOAR program. And that was placed on hold and never
Who requested it to be held?
there's no mention here. That's not in my hand.
Does anybody have a problem?
No,
I put it on.
I don't know who put it on hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
That's not even my handwriting, so it was taken out. Per Councilman Gallman, regarding Virginia Street between Madison and Jefferson to rescind loading zone, that was placed on hold.
Keep it on
You
hold.
remember that?
No.
Put it on.
It's back in July. You want to keep it on hold until you and I are supposed to go out there?
Rescind the loading zone. Rescind the loading zone. Why don't you hold
wanna
that?
look at it?
I want to take a look at it, because I'll tell you why. And I can wait we do it once around, but you want to elaborate on it now.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm looking at to possibly creating an ordinance of placing no parking anytime on the south side of Virginia Street between Madison and Jefferson Avenue. So I won't be able to determine that until I meet with the council president and someone else, maybe tomorrow or one day the rest of this week. And then I'll determine that. I'll get back to you about the ordinance and also the loading zone, okay? Thank you.
Alright. Okay, let's see. The Morris Avenue corridor was tabled. Area in need of redevelopment. And never put back on. It was regarding the preliminary study,
What date is on it?
May 30th.
Yeah, that was, I think Pat might have tabled it during that time, but.
It's fine with mine.
Councilman Mauser?
Oh, that's, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he moved to table.
Oh, yeah, the Morris Avenue
Morris Avenue,
corridor.
it was a preliminary,
Study.
yeah.
Oh, they, with those addresses that were affected by?
Yeah, during that time.
Well, we really have to find out what's gonna happen. You're talking about 20 to probably 25, you know, taxpayers, different lots that they will be affected by. Did anybody made a study, what the impact?
But what word is this?
It's my.
It's in this one.
Then you gotta,
Yeah.
you gotta make it hold.
If we can make it, keep it on hold for now,
Okay.
and I'll get a copy of it. Thank you.
Okay, we're going back to March. The Board of Education has sent over a request to consider approval for public
I was
education.
gonna say hold.
Okay. Well, there's no certificate for this. The moratorium for no parking, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., 6 p.m. on certain streets. That was tabled. Councilwoman.
Yeah, leave that.
Okay, and then we have the East Grand Street de-designate as redeveloper. We move to table. It's regarding the supermarket, shopping center, Livingston Street.
What happened? What's this?
This was for the developing a supermarket,
Right.
shopping center,
Right.
801-871 Livingston Street.
And what happened?
De-designate the developer. I'm trying to see who it was.
Yeah, why,
Inner City Development
why was it being held?
from Inner City Development to East Grand and Division LLC.
Somebody was holding it?
It was
I
tabled.
don't know why I tabled it.
No.
You don't know why you
I don't know
did?
why it was tabled, no. They shouldn't
Maybe
have tabled
because he wasn't here.
Might have been on hold for a while, and
Yeah.
I don't know where it is now, but I think it's
It's-
active.
it. Yeah, it's moving,
Okay.
it's moving forward.
Moving
So what
forward.
we're doing is what, just changing the name of the developer?
Right.
Well, you
Yeah.
de-designated, yeah.
That's what you're doing.
A new one.
I don't know why it was being held.
You weren't here
I don't know.
that night.
Oh, I wasn't here?
Yeah, that's why they were.
I think that's why I held it, because you weren't here.
Well, at least you could give me a courtesy.
I don't remember. You
You were golfing someplace.
You know what I mean?
Excuse me, I was not the president.
Who was the president?
Who was my predecessor?
Well, your predecessor.
You.
You.
I wasn't here.
That's why I held
Who
it.
was a pro
Oh,
tem?
well.
I said, this is the councilman's word, I'm gonna hold it, because I'm gonna let you make the decision.
Pro temp should get in touch with the president.
Okay.
Should.
Sure.
Well, I just did.
A good pro temp. A good pro temp.
I just did. We're only 10 months later.
Yeah, no, but-
Is that for a de-designation?
Yeah.
And it was tabled,
I thought we-
unless we received another.
Maybe something else happened since then?
I
Since then.
think so.
I think we got something else on it. I thought, I'm surprised to see it here.
Can we get a copy of this to
Yes.
Counselor, and then we'll
Yeah,
decide
let me
what,
check
if
it out.
we even have to do any action on it. We may not have to take any action on it.
But
Okay.
when I said that, I had a conversation with the director, just a matter of fact, a few days ago. And that's active, that's moving.
Hey, all we were doing with this is changing the name of the developer.
That is correct, that's
I-
correct. That's why I was surprised.
Maybe it is going forward, but we don't know if it's,
Okay.
maybe we don't have to take any action.
Yeah, but one pulled out, Mr. President, another one came in, so.
Right, and that's my point. I don't know if,
What happened there someplace, yeah.
That's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right.
Everything.
Don't hold that project up, that's gotta go through.
No, we didn't hold the project up. Obviously, we didn't hold the project up. What's going on?
Okay, all right. Now I know it's going
All
through.
right, I don't really have it.
I want beautification going through the corridor.
Once around, Councilman Torres.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can I just get a memorial for Aaliyah Fontaine Rodriguez?
Wait a minute. Aaliyah,
Fontaine Rodriguez. That's it, Mr. President.
September 27th. October, the event occurred on October 3rd. At 4 o'clock.
I guess we missed it.
You think? It wasn't even on my agenda. I don't know how we're gonna correct, yeah, I don't know how we're gonna correct this, but this is not the first time it's happened where we receive a notice of an event and it's passed, we don't even,
Right.
but it was in an envelope though. It was originally in an envelope.
Right, it
So
was.
you would not have known.
Oh.
Because it was in
yeah,
an envelope.
yeah. Okay.
So maybe,
Yeah,
it's like,
that's-
that's it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think for future, if, I don't know, I'll give you permission to open my mail, I don't
Open your
care.
mail.
you know, I mean, but just to see, because this particular, what happened was we were off that last week of September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Friday, right? And it was,
Mhm. Okay.
Peppers, I'm gonna close
We'll
it.
open at least one.
Yeah. You could open mine.
Okay.
All right, anything else, Councilman?
That's it.
Councilman Keenan?
Pass.
Councilman Coleman?
Best, I'm finished, sir.
Councilman Nat?
Yeah, can we have a letter to the traffic to do a study pertaining to put a traffic light at Smith Street and Cross Street per request by one of my constituency?
A traffic light?
Yeah, I would like the street light installed near the corner of Smith Street and Cross Street, so let them have a study, see if it's visible or not. And while you write the same letter, can we have a New Jersey State pedestrian first place at 3rd Avenue and Spencer Street? Apparently somebody likes to move around the plastic stop sign. That will help the crossing guard every morning. You know, the young man that is there does a super job, and with the stop sign, that plastic, you know, pedestrian first, that will really help a lot of the children and people to cross. So it's an alert type of a stop sign. Can we have one steady there at the 3rd Avenue and Spencer by School 15, please?
Okay.
And then I have a memorial for Helen Loretta Inzalaco. I'll give you the...
Oh, okay.
Sorry. And I'm finished.
Councilman Quest?
Yes, Mr. President, a couple of things. First, Mr. President, as a result of litigation between a gentleman by the name of Antonio Rivera versus the Elizabeth Board of Education, Pablo Munoz, Rafael Fajardo, docket number UNNL 381406. The court ruled that these two individuals, Munoz and Fajardo, had to pay $66,037.49 to the school district because they inappropriately and basically illegally received legal advice during a case that was pretty much personal. And more than a year ago, the court ruled that this money should be returned to the children of Elizabeth. The minority members of the Board of Ed, Jose Rodriguez, Stan Neron, Charlene Bartholos, introduced a resolution on September 18th requesting that the board collect this money from these individuals. Unfortunately, the majority denied such resolution. So in effect, the children of Elizabeth have been shortchanged. They have not received this amount of money that is due to them. And so I'm requesting a resolution from City Council requesting, I was going to say demanding, but asking the board secretary and the board attorney to take whatever steps are necessary to ensure this money, in fact, is returned to the children of Elizabeth. I understand that the money is sitting in some escrow account somewhere, but that's not good enough. The court ordered clearly that the children be reimbursed, and they have not. I think it's extremely important to pursue this issue, given the fact that because of budgetary reasons, teacher assistants and aides and personnel and transportation have been cut. With this amount of money, you can hire 2 full-time teacher assistants, and that's something that is essential. So I would hope that you, Mr. President, and the rest of the members join me in this resolution, simply asking the board to follow the court order. It's not something I'm making up, it's something that happened more than a year ago. And unfortunately, the board did not approve the resolution introduced by the minority members, so I think we should speak out on behalf of the children of the city.
Okay, Council. So that resolution will be out for a vote.
Thank you. One last thing. In my, as a matter of fact, Councilman Torres was with me walking around the neighborhood about a week ago around the 3rd Ward. We noticed on Bailey Avenue, the 700 block of Bailey Avenue, there's a sign that's extremely important that reads, be aware that there's a autistic child in the neighborhood, something to that effect. And I think it's a great thing to do. The problem is that you can only read the sign from what side. If you, when we came back the 700 block, you cannot see it. There's only one sign, only on one side. I spoke to the director, and he assured me he was gonna send somebody there. I passed by the 700 block again tonight, as everybody knows, that's where I live. And there's no other sign. So I am asking to Yolanda to just remind Mr. Papetti that not only that particular sign, but I'm sure there are others in the city, and people should be able to read them from both sides. Otherwise, it's really,
What's the point?
it becomes, yeah, what's the point?
Full direction.
So, all right? That's all, Mr. President, thank you.
Councilman Stain.
Two things. One, Lieutenant Marcus, I think everyone must have received the memo concerning Newark Ave and Waverly. Upon the recommendation, they see an estimated cost of $94,500 to resolve the issue that we had there. So I just wanted to, if I would have the support of my colleagues, to pursue them trying to remedy. Lieutenant Marcus said that they wouldn't even entertain, try to resolve even in a minimal level that situation unless something goes through, like a resolution from City Council. So just wanted to see if we would be able to.
I don't have a copy of that.
I always got a copy.
Oh, no, I thought everyone might have received it.
Oh, maybe because it's addressed to you?
No,
No?
it was actually addressed to you, Yolanda.
Yeah, because I have mine in here,
They don't have it.
but,
I don't think I have it.
no.
Yeah,
There was one put in
So what is- what
that
is-
it pertained to each council person. It was put in their box.
Because
So
I-
he sent it to me like
What
this.
is he proposing?
Well, I think he's recommending like doing a traffic light, but at the same time too, I did tell him that, if there's something minimal that could be done, whatever to resolve the issue. But he said unless we show them something from City Council, they're not gonna even entertain it. But the estimated cost, if it would even be a traffic light, would be, he put $94,500 for the city. So I'm assuming, because he says total cost, but I'm assuming the $94,500 is the 25% of the city's part.
For DOT?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, like mine.
Oh, I see, because that's a state road?
Yeah, it's a state
Yeah,
road.
that's like my
So-
situation, Mr. President.
All right, so what do you think? Maybe we send a letter to DOT and ask them if they would be willing to do this improvement?
Yeah, if we can, that'd be great, because I know this is a big
And
concern.
in the meantime, we can ask the police department to try to do the best they
So
can.
are we going to be paying for this improvement, or is the state gonna be?
Now we're gonna ask them if this is something they wanna do.
Oh,
It's their highway,
you're right.
it's their roadway.
And according to Lieutenant too, it's like, they wouldn't even entertain it unless City Council sends them something as a whole.
I guess the thing is, there's not a shared cost.
There is, because it's their roadway,
Right.
they would have to initiate and say, yes, we wanna
Right,
do this.
okay.
And it's a shared cost depending on what they decide. They might not decide not to do a traffic light, but do something on the lower scale, and then it would be a shared
Right.
cost with that.
Right.
So,
So, can we send, I guess, DOT this report
Okay.
and let them know that we'd like
But
to.
Mr. President, like in my situation, they wouldn't require a resolution?
I think it's the same thing.
In my situation, they required a resolution before they would entertain it.
yeah.
So then we'll pass a resolution.
Okay.
Put it
Great,
on for
thank
a
you.
resolution, is that all right?
Thank you.
Resolution.
And just one other thing, I know you had mentioned about like events that happen, but just as a suggestion, I think it would be great if there would be some type of Google Calendar or something that we would have access to that could just be inputted.
It's in the
like-
city's website.
Oh, it's in the city's website.
The problem is, obviously, like any other computer database, if you don't put it in,
Yeah.
it's not there. So what I would suggest to all of you is, if there's any events that you guys come aware of, whether it's community meetings in your respective wards, whether it's something you want to have it, announce that's going on in your wards, make sure you get that over to public information so they can put it into our website.
Okay.
The city's website has a Dropbox of upcoming events.
That's it. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Gonzalez.
Yeah, Mr. President. Speaking of those intersections, Rollway and Elmora and South Elmora and Edgar Road, we passed the resolution, and I don't know if the letter was ever sent out. Who would send the letter now?
Resolution goes to.
From City
Marcus.
Council, would it go from
DPW or-
Marcus, would it come from Public Works?
No, I think it would go back to Marcus. And then he would extend it. But I'll find out.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we don't waste too much more time, goes on, and it doesn't get done, boss, after, yeah. So if you could find out.
Mhm.
There's about 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Also, Mr. President, I have a resident, like for the, I guess the traffic division would have to look into this. I have a resident that lives on Greer Avenue. His driveway is in the back of Boyle Place. Every winter, he calls me because when they plow Boyle Place, they plow the snow into his driveway. And he can't get out. So I have to call them and say, you guys gotta dig this guy out so he can get his car out of his driveway. There is a section on the left side, on the even side of Boyle Place. Boyle Place is just 1 block. And there is a section there where if they can plow the snow to that corner, it might alleviate this problem. I wanted to see if they can look at that to put a no parking when snow is covered sign over there. So that this way they can plow the snow into that corner. I mean, they're gonna lose a parking spot, but it'll take care of this problem, because every time we have to, every year this guy calls me, they did it again.
Does your ward,
you're right.
does your ward supervisor know about this?
Yeah,
He does.
yeah.
And then maybe-
But he has to come here every year, so I wanna see if we can remedy it somehow, maybe put a no parking with snow covered, so that this way it'll allow them to just push it into that corner.
Give the address to Yolanda.
Okay. Well, it's Boyle Place, at the end of Boyle Place.
Dead
And
end.
the boy.
The dead end of Boyle Place.
No
Yes.
parking at the dead end.
Yeah. I'd like to have a memorial for Miss Lydia Acevedo, passed away on October 1st.
Lydia?
Yeah, Lidia. She was viewed at Crowicki. You can get the stuff from there. I was wondering if anybody's noticed any mailboxes missing in your wards. I was recently informed at a community meeting of a mailbox that even I used, and when I went there recently, it was gone. We have a FedEx one, we have one from UPS, DHL or UPS, one of them. But the one from the mailbox thief is gone from the post office. It suddenly disappeared. I asked Yolanda to send a letter. I still haven't gotten a response back
They were in
about the one on Summer and South Broad Street. But I don't know if anybody's noticed or if anybody's been complained about mailboxes missing, but ours is missing. It's on South Fillmore Avenue near Erico Avenue.
Oh, yes.
It's right in front of the school there, right by the school. And suddenly the mailbox was taken away, and I don't know why.
I know I had one in my ward that was taken down by an accident, but they didn't replace it. And they said they weren't going to
Yeah.
replace it.
Well, this one, there wasn't nothing that I'm aware of, and the other 2 mailboxes are still there. The FedEx and the DHL, but the US Post Office one is gone.
Councilman, I had
Yes.
a meeting with the postmaster when it happened about 8 years ago. They took one at Christine and Terrell around my corner, and just me, I put about 15, 20, 30 letters a week, inside the mailbox. And they took it completely out because reduction for the work that I have to do. And he told me, he says, Council, when you have a block watch meeting, instruct your constituency that they could leave the mail in their mailbox when the mailman comes in, we'll pick up your mail and we'll put you whatever mail belongs to you. So the carrier will do double the job by dropping off your mail and pick up the mail and take them up to the post office. That's what I've been doing. I was very disappointed. I brought to Congressman Arbias at the time. I got very frustrated with him. His aide got in touch with me. He came down. I said, what good is it for you to be my congressman? You couldn't even help me to get a mailbox replaced, okay? And then they did a study. They kept one by School 15. They kept one by 4th Avenue and Palmer. They got rid of one at Christine. They got rid of one by San Anthony. And every area in Petersburg where there's mostly senior citizens. I thought I was getting targeted, but then when they got rid of the post office on the first ward, thing, you had also another ward with the postmaster. So apparently that's what's gonna happen. More and more, we're gonna lose the mailbox, and they're only gonna be drop them off and pick them up from the carrier. Unless you wanna go directly to the post office, drop it in.
Well, I know at one time when they were cutting back, they decided, and there was an effort on their part to remove mailboxes, and we were aware of that. But then suddenly now for them to start disappearing.
I had the same issue the councilman was mentioning, and that was the same response. They want to encourage residents, instead of walking to a mailbox, to leave their outgoing mail at their own mailbox in their house. And when the postal person comes to deliver, they're supposed to pick up whatever you want to send out and leave your new mail. I do that at my office now. It is what it is. I mean, it's not necessarily. I think once you put it in a box, it's more secure. But they feel that that's their new path of how they're going to go. What else, Councilman?
I think that's it, Mr. President.
There's knowledge of these little things to do listed.
Yeah.
You're like me, if you don't write it down, you forget.
Oh, I thought it was the other one.
No.
Oh, okay.
That's it, Mr. President.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Thank you, buddy.